Okay, I'm going to talk about the ventricular tachycardia. Well, first of place, I've written this in Arabic, so like, in case you wondered what is this, it means like mountains that next by each other. So the ventricular tachycardia is the rhythm going to be regular, as you could see here. The rate going to be 3/300 over 2 because it's regular. It equals 150, which is tachycardia because it's ventricular tachycardia, right? Okay, the P wave is absent even though the issue in the ventricle, right? So you notice here there's no P wave at all. Where does it go? Well, I don't know basically, but I mean, maybe like the issue in the ventricles, we couldn't find the P wave, but I don't know why. The PR couldn't be determined. The QRS is wide, bizarre wave, right? Notice here the QRS. It's sort of like wide, right? And bizarre. And it is about 0.12 seconds, the duration. Notice here it is more than the normal ones. It has to be small square, right? It takes about 3 squares, small squares, which is not a normal at all. This is the QRS. The ST segment couldn't be determined. Well, the ST segment couldn't be determined because it's hard. There's no T wave. Because of that, why couldn't we determine the ST segment? The axial going to be left because it's positive here, here, negative here, so it's left. So this is, oh my gosh, this is the axial, the T wave is absent. The ST segment couldn't be determined. The QRS is bizarre and because since the problem is the ventricle, so it doesn't have to be normal. The BR couldn't be determined as well because there's no P wave, even though the problem is in the ventricle, but we couldn't find the P waves. What about the rate? It's going to be 300 over 2 because there are two larger squares, so that's why we put 2 here. It's going to be tachycardia, the rhythm is regular, the ventricular tachycardia, it resembles mountains next by each other. This is how I like to remember this. Okay, ventricular tachycardia, this is how it does it look like. Hopefully you did benefit from, and thank you.